to the Final Four. We join you today from the city that will host this year's Final Four. Houston, Texas. Action from the American. Cincinnati taking on the number 3 team of the country, the Cougars. Let's check out the conference standings. Houston at 7-1. Bearcats holding steady at 5-3. Welcome courtside, everybody. Iron Eagle, Jim Spinarkle. We've got Cougar Nation right here behind us. They're highly spirited. They're ready to go.
Yeah, they are.
This program has achieved some pretty impressive things over the last couple of years. Final Four, Elite Eight, but the Houston team this year, a little bit different than the last 2 years.
They are, but from the defensive side of the floor and the offensive side of the floor, their numbers are very good, but they do have some veteran leadership in the backcourt in particular with Marcus Sasser, who just understands how to lead this team. Great defensive player, but you notice in the wins, he's scoring at 17 points a game. In the losses, not so good. So obviously he has to continue his consistent play. 37% shooter from the three-point line.
Well, some question marks today in regards to Landers Nolley, the leading scorer for Cincinnati. He's been dealing with some knee issues, didn't practice the last couple of days, was out there for warm-ups. He will start for the Bearcats. Let's check out our fast analysis presented by AT&T 5G.
Well, when Cincinnati is playing well, Ian, they're surrounding that three-point line. As you notice, when it goes back into the post, they kick it back out. Nolley has the ball now. If you don't find him, he's shooting at 49% from the three-point line in conference play. Jarris Walker on the other side of the court for Houston, a freshman who is getting better and better by the week. He can score the ball from different spots on the floor, but defensively, very good. And if he gets it in transition, it's usually pretty.
It's the 46th all-time meeting between the Bearcats and the Cougars, and maybe the final time as part of the American. Starting lineups, opening tip when we return. Rick Ross and Greg Popovich to Wes Miller because they're all celebrating birthdays today. Miller turning 40, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Let's check out our starting lineups. David DeJulius, experience, the heart and soul of this group. We mentioned Nolley and the offensive firepower. Houston, boy, they've got all the boxes checked. Kelvin Sampson, what a job he's done turning this program around, and one of the teams that could very much be a factor come Final Four time in their own town.
And one of the things that stood out at practice yesterday is the fact the energy level that these guys practice at, and obviously how they play in regular games.
Will Howard, Bill Jacobson, Robert Felder, our officiating crew. We're underway with Houston at 19-2. They were #1 in the country 1 week ago. Suffered that 1-point loss to Temple. Roberts gets the roll on the inside to get the scoring started.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a game of understanding your scouting report, understanding who goes to his left and favors their strong hand, and make sure you understand personnel assignments.
You know, Houston can lock you down defensively. They have been consistently among the best teams in the country, currently #2 in points allowed. We'll see the movement of Nolley if he looks comfortable out there. Locken, double team, trying to fight through it. Shot clock winding down. DeJulius can't say it, excuse me, on the turnaround.
Yeah, they're going to check that, I believe, too. But
it was very close.
Yes, it was, but in a good spot as a guard. Sometimes your instincts, when your guy gets in trouble, it looks like there's going to be a turnover. You start to drift back to half court.
And Kelvin Sampson will unbutton his top button already.
Look where he's standing.
So just a matter of whether or not he got it off as the shot clock was winding down. David DeJulius, transferred from Michigan. They're seeing the same video that we're looking at right now, and it's going to come down to the clock.
Watch the way he looks to his right down the other end of the floor. You see him look, he sees the clock.
Boy, simultaneous.
It really is. That's why we're glad we're sitting over here sometimes, huh?
So still in his hand, still in his hand.
Let's see. Hand.
They're going to wave it off.
That's okay.
No basket for DeJulius. Empty trip for Cincinnati.
Pretty good move, though, by DeJulius, where he was standing, helping his teammate out in the lane area.
That might also give you some insight into what Houston's approach will be with Victor Locken. They smothered him on the touch. Shed, keep the ball moving. Roberts lost his footing. Jarris Walker gets his first touch. Talented McDonald's All-American.
It's a Cincinnati team that likes to run you off the three-point line.
Walker, the off-balance delivery. Good box out there for Cincinnati. They're a very good rebounding team, as well as Houston.
Yeah, Houston's very good on the offensive rebounding side, too. They get about 13 offensive rebounds a game.
#1 offensive rebounding team in the conference. Okwama will throw his body around. The jumper, Nolly rimming in from the corner. It's a triple.
And a good side for Cincinnati, obviously. When he shoots the basketball, it's interesting to watch. It's really not a jump shot. It's kind of a set shot into a little bit of a lift, but he doesn't put it over his head so he can get it off very quickly.
Second in the conference in three-point shooting, 44%. Early on, we're seeing shooters' rims here in Houston. Another turnaround, a quick move from Roberts. Fourth-year junior, the lefty has added muscle over the last couple of seasons.
And that's what I mean about that scouting report. You have to understand that that's what he wants to do, get in the paint and get that touch off with the left. That's a good look. Tough catch, though.
Lockton was trying to hit Okwama. Houston in transition. Ball got picked by Cincinnati as Mark had it knocked away out of bounds, and Houston will retain it with a 4-3 lead. When we talked to Kelvin Sampson, he said, look, we're trusting younger guys more than we have over the last few years, and sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're inconsistent.
Yeah, and there's a nice look inside, the quick cut.
Jawan Roberts has done all of the scoring so far.
And Kelvin Sampson also saying that the freshmen and the young players will carry this team to higher heights, if you will. They need them to contribute. They have been contributing, but will they be consistent?
Swing it to Julius, open look, bottom, a three.
Nice flare cut just then over the top. You want to read where the ball is, read where your man is defensively, and by the flare cut, you want to kind of give yourself some separation and get to a spot where you can shoot it from.
First meeting between these two teams, 72-59 Houston on January the 8th. Walker lines it up. Air ball. Caught by Roberts, saved. Mark had a tough time holding his footing, and a step in there by Lockett.
Got to pick that one up.
And he wants to get it into the hands of a guard, to Julius.
That's a good move. Shed right there defensively, who was great in terms of steals. Him and Sassa combined for 3.5 steals a game.
Nolly, picture perfect on that delivery. Landers Nolly the second. He has got unlimited range.
And as I touched on, in conference play, he came in at 49% from the three-point stripe. Puts him over 50 now. Good
Cincinnati,
hands.
3 of 3 from the field, all from three-point land. Should have been a steal there for the Bearcats. Instead, Houston retains with 10 to shoot. Roberts.
Good skip pass to get it away from the double team in the post.
Tremont Mark, Swiss Army knife, again loses his footing. Fires it way off. And a shot clock violation against Houston. Good start here for Cincinnati. They've got a 9-6 lead, and Landers Nolly a question mark. So far, so good.
Gets it off in a hurry.
Cincinnati off to a good start, 9-6 lead on Houston. This rivalry will continue, even though these two teams will not be in the American next year. They're both moving to the Big 12. Goes back to 1957, Missouri Valley. Cincinnati won all 6 of those meetings. In fact, the Bearcats dominated this series for a long time, but in recent years, it has been all Houston. 7 straight wins over Cincinnati, 8 of the last 10. A lot of respect when we had a chance to chat with Wes Miller for the job that Kelvin Sampson has done and the standard that has been set. And that's part of the reason why Wes Miller took the job at Cincinnati. Just felt like that's a program that expects to win, and he recognizes that you have to play with a certain style at Cincinnati, play with an edge.
Exactly, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to elevate them, obviously, to get consistency with the NCAA tournament. And also, everybody buys into the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Big, big sports town, as we all know.
Yeah, what's happening this weekend?
I don't know. I'm not paying attention.
Maybe more on that later. Cincinnati with a 9-6 lead. Nolly nails it. A downtown hit. for Landers Nolly. They are 4 of 4 from three-point territory, smoking hot.
Yeah, and they're riding him a little bit. And the one thing about it, as I touched on, he catches and shoots it like lightning.
Walker fakes on a three. Look out, Walker. Slammed down, but a foul called. Shot won't count as Roberts was there waiting. Foul called on the drive by Jarris Walker.
Yeah, one of the things that Houston does very well is they defend the three, only allowing the opposition to shoot it at 26%. You'll notice that the open shots are going to really have to make an adjustment for Houston as this half progresses, but they get it off in a hurry. They look for it. It's a big part of their game plan.
Got a change here for Cincinnati. Jeremiah Davenport will check in. Okwama will sit. Davenport had been starting. Change made by Wes Miller. He went to Davenport, started the conversation, and Jeremiah cut him off, said, hey, coach, whatever you need me to do, I just want to do what's best for the team.
Houston will attack him when they have the basketball.
9-0 run here for Cincinnati. DeJulius lob it up. And a miss by Locken. He had a chance to tip it in.
Pretty well defended, though, on that drift pass just then. Getting in his way at the rim.
It's been a little disjointed so far for Houston. Denied. Locken with the block on Shed. And a foul called. Victor Locken locking up Jamal Shed.
Well, very quick to the basket, but defensively, Locken just understands how to keep that separation of body away from the defender. And he goes straight up and gets his hand on the basketball.
And the foul called on Jawan Roberts. What a start here for Cincinnati. 4 of 5 from the field. Roll to the rim. Locken! Big finish!
They come out in Rhode Island and they look very comfortable. In that first game they played on January 8th that you mentioned, Houston got off to a very good start in the first half of that one and kind of continued just to play their style of ball for the win.
This is an 11-0 run. Let's see if Sasser gets involved here. The step through, that's a travel.
That's a step.
So right now, Houston is pressing. Houston is 3 of 7 from the field to open up. CBS Thursday, join Marcia Gay Harden and Skylar Aston in the new hit show people are calling Sheer Perfection, Clever, and the best new fall show. Help yourself to a new So Help Me Todd. Thursdays at 9, 8 Central on CBS.
Sharpened the game for Houston. He's coming off a real good game of 18 points last time out.
Ball fake, Nolly, swing it. Adams Woods fires, rims out. Offensive board, and the putback goes Okwama.
And it's one thing to get the offensive glass working in your favor, but they are getting the shots that are relatively open, and even when they're missing, they understand, their teammates understand where the shots are coming from, and it makes it so much easier to offensive rebound.
You mentioned Emmanuel Sharp in the game for the first time. He's been on a nice run of late. Sharp on a handoff for Shed. Shot clock is down to 3. Shed over to Julius. Off.
Well, they're not getting the shots they want, and they're using that shot clock, which they do. A lot of times that shot clock will wind down for Houston, but they generally take advantage of that and make pretty good decisions.
Jimmy, this matches the largest deficit all season Houston has faced. 10 points.
Oh,
swing it. Open look. Davenport. Got a 3. Another
guy who can shoot it. 31%, but they look for him to be active and early when he gets on the floor.
19-6, Bearcat barrage on the road. Right now, everything is clicking for Cincinnati.
The passing is working perfectly in terms of their sets. You notice they're not in a hurry. Beautiful skip pass right there. And Davenport just ready to go as a 31% three-point shooter. But his role when he comes out on the floor, as you touched on, he'll do anything for the team to help them win. But if he's open, he's supposed to shoot that shot.
All right, let's break down some numbers. 16-0 run for Cincinnati. DeJulius has 5 assists, so they're spreading it around. Cincinnati has not missed from three-point territory. 5 of 5. Houston has taken an over. This is the largest first-half deficit of the season. 13 points down. Out of the timeout, Walker.
See if they get something going towards the basket. Initially, Walker started it there. Maybe Sasser trying to break somebody down.
Sasser, one of the leaders of this team. Hand it off. Walker, dribble drive, dump it inside.
They got to go in a hurry right now.
Francis, kick out, Sharp. Can't hit the three. Gang rebounding, Davenport for the Bearcats.
The reputation here, Ian, is that this place has pretty good atmosphere. It's been pretty quiet so far.
No, they have diffused it.
They sure have.
Adams Woods was looking to probe. Now it's to Julius. And it's going the other way.
Yeah, moving screen. Oguama out front just a touch early on that, and it usually goes back to the guard, leaving just a touch early. The first time we've sensed in this half that they were hurrying to get something going on the offensive end.
And that is the second foul on Oguama. Jamal Shed, the junior from Maynard, Texas, will take a seat for Houston. Mark back in. Sasser, swing it. Tremont Mark, keep the ball moving for Walker. Off the double, Mark. The floater is good.
Good recognition there by Walker, too. Pushing the game in a little closer to the basket. He gets it in the lane and forces guys to react on him defensively. And then you get that little pull-up jumper.
Ends a 16-0 run. Swing, Davenport.
Look at the way they're coming out to the perimeter. 5 for 5 for Cincinnati, as you just touched on.
Ezikpe is in. Jumper, Reed, too strong. Josh Reed, the freshman from Atlanta.
Pretty good at pushing the ball. Houston is, but transition defense pretty good.
Jab and jumper. Marcus Sasser connects. An answer from the Cougars. Timeout. Cincinnati up by 8. 11:20 to go, first half.
It's down to 7 seconds. You can see the time. Wittenberg. Oh, that's a long ways. They won it on the dunk.
Well, we here at CBS Sports are mourning the loss of our longtime colleague and a legend in sports broadcasting, Billy Packer, the analyst on every NCAA men's Final Four from 1975 to 2008. Billy delivered his astute observations, colorful commentary to a generation of fans. Spent 27 of those years with CBS Sports, entertained, informed, always respected the game as we pay our respects to Billy Packer. We send our deepest condolences to his 3 children, so many grandchildren. Billy Packer passed away at the age of 82 on Thursday. Jimmy, you and I got a chance to know Billy as colleagues at CBS Sports. You go farther back because he called your games when you were at Duke.
Yeah, he did. So I got to know him back then while calling those games in the ACC, and always appreciated the way he approached the game on television and speaking to him away from television. Just really understood it and really added so much analysis to a basketball game.
And off the air, one of the most interesting people you will ever talk to in your life. He's very deep and a renaissance man. Out of the timeout, the jumper doesn't go for Josh Reed. Good battle on the boards for Walker. Get into it quickly here with Sasser. Straight line drive. He tried to hit Francis on the pass underneath, and it's out of bounds.
Team that doesn't turn it over all that much when you think about it. 10 turnovers a game. Sometimes they play at a pretty good pace, scoring 75 points a game, but they control it pretty well.
Dan Skillings Jr. will check in, and Wes Miller wanted us to make sure that we wished him a happy birthday because it was Dan's birthday yesterday. Everybody was talking about Wes Miller's birthday. He said, no. Share the birthday. I don't think Wes wanted to talk about the number, the 4-0.
No one does.
Keep it on the outside. Great look. It goes down for Victor Locken. And that's a heads-up pass from Landers Nolly II. He spied Locken cutting towards the rim.
Yeah, that's one of the things that he does very well in this offense. He sets pick-and-roll screens and will slash to the middle of the floor and head to the basket.
Mark, spin move.
Nice look.
Dumps it down low, and the lay-in goes. Javier Francis, the sophomore from New Orleans.
Good decision by Mark also. Gets people jumping, a lefty with a terrific ball fake, and then the delivery.
Got the sense from Kelvin Sampson. He believes in the ceiling of Javier Francis being very high. Cincinnati has had answer after answer. DeJulius is a calming influence for this Bearcat squad.
Well, he makes great decisions. That's the one thing about him, you know, in terms of being able to run the offense and set their sets up pretty quickly and nicely.
Mark trying to penetrate against Nolly.
They're just not letting them get into easy sets. Cincinnati's defense is very, very sharp.
Mark pull-up pop. It's off. Rebound deflected. Tracked down by Nolly. Right now it's 1-on-4.
Well, bring it back. There you go. Nice look.
Locken. Couldn't bank it in. Grabs it. Locken. Loose change.
Yeah, Francis was a factor defensively in the transition defense, but Locken really working that offensive glass again. Coming off 22 points his last outing on where he shot 11 for 14.
Cincinnati is shooting 67% in this first half. They've got a 25-13 lead. Walker one-on-one with Davenport. Walker hard to the hole with a floater.
And that's where his decision-making is getting better and better. Now Houston goes throughout the course of the balance of this season. I think he's going to have a very, very big impact on it.
10.5 points per game. Open look. Davenport blocked. Apparently not so open. Walker closed in a hurry with that 7'2" wingspan.
And it's an opportunity to get a bucket here to get some rhythm going at the offensive end. 2 consecutive times down, but more importantly, get the crowd involved.
The runner for Walker. Houston chipping away. 25-17. Crowd has been re-energized. Nolly pops and hits. That is a silencer, and Nolly indicating the defender too small.
Did we point out that his right knee was a little sore this
well,
week?
This is what we were told. Wow. There's been no indicator of that. Houston's up to 53% shooting. Sasser with a push shot.
Where are they starting to get their shots now? They're starting to really push it in tight. The guards are leading it, and the bigs are going to stand there and wait for the opportunity to catch and go with it. So a little adjustment on the fly for Houston.
Marcus Sasser, the senior from Dallas, averaging 16.6 points per game. Nolly's got 11. Nolly, he's human. Missed it, tracks it down in the corner. Davenport, shooting practice. Count it for 3.
Nolly trying to mix it up a little bit. They're running so hard at him at the three-point line that he's now putting it on the floor a touch. And a nice track down.
Sasser with a quick jack. Locken in for the board.
Yeah, good work on the defensive glass there.
DeJulius, the hard drive.
Goaltending.
Yep, it's going to count. DeJulius, a blur going to the rim to add to the Cincinnati lead. 7-0 burst. 32-19. The Bearcats doing it from all angles so far in Houston. Game summary here in Houston. Jimmy, Cincinnati is getting whatever it wants from the perimeter.
Yeah, and you think about that three-point shooting as we see right there, 6 of 9. 39% of their field goal attempts come from the three-point stripe. And Nolly, who came out here struggling with a little bit of a right knee problem, came out firing, looking for opportunities. And once that first one went down, Cincinnati started to give him the basketball. But I love the way just there we see that last shot. He's blending in a little bit of putting it on the floor. The mid-range game complementing his long-range game.
And just when you thought Houston had found its footing, Cincinnati answers and has matched its largest lead of the day. Nolly's going to get a rest here. Second chance point, 7-0 Cincinnati. Nolly was a standout at Virginia Tech and then at Memphis. Everywhere he's gone, he's been an impact player. Out of the timeout, Sharp, defended by Reed.
Not allowing any post-up opportunities and squeezing the left side of the floor.
Roberts. Lockett nearly took it away. It's out of bounds with 14 to shoot. Trigger in for Sharp. Kelvin Sampson said this has not been a fluke by any stretch. They were expecting this from Sharp. It's just a matter of time. Arsenault is in. Arsenault challenging Lock-in for the deuce.
Another terrific player, young guy, freshman, known for making big shots in his career before college.
2 state titles at Beaumont United High School. Hit the buzzer beater to win it. Back-to-back state titles. Inside. By Roberts and a foul. Houston fans can't believe it. They thought Jawan Roberts got it clean.
Kelvin Sampson thought the same thing. And let's take a quick look at it. Player falls down on the right side after the screen. And so you have to really help out. It was a little body action down low. I think the officials watch low on this. Not much, though. He's going straight up, but I think on the right side of his body, he kind of hit him with his hand before he got into the shot.
Oklahoma shoots it at 60%. Wes Miller will make a change here to Julius in. The freshman Skillings will sit. 33-21. Another free throw here for the Wake Forest transfer, Odi Okwama. Roberts with 2 fouls takes a seat.
Okwama with 2 also. Ian, he fouled out in 21 minutes last game out, so playing with 2 is a bit of a risk here with 6 and change left. Has to be careful.
Reggie Chaney checks in, the veteran for Houston. Around and out on the second attempt by Okwama.
Trying to get it down the floor a little quicker.
Shed trying to set it up, and Chaney lost the ball. To Julius.
He's good with the basketball.
Weaving through traffic. Reed. Wow, missed it from long range. Tracked down by Locken. And to Julius loses it. Arsenault long strides. Cincinnati gets back defensively. Sharp misses on a 3-ball. Chaney, spin move. Chaney blocked by Locken. Kick out for Shed. Contact, and it's going to be a foul called against Adams Woods. Well, this Thursday, our spirits are lifted. The return to new episodes of TV's #1 new comedy, Ghosts. The critics call it drop dead funny and thoroughly charming. It's just been certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes. Ghosts is back. Brand new episode starts at 9, 8 Central Thursday on CBS. 2 blocks for Locken. Sasser with 10 to shoot.
Even off the dribble, Cincinnati very alert. Not letting anybody go by them.
Shake and bake. Shed drops it in from the outside.
That's what they need. They need Shed and Sasser in a controlled fashion, Ian, to try to get themselves on track. Not necessarily with the 3-point shot, but the mid-range and drives to the basket.
And this is why Kelvin Sampson loves his defense. What he has up front, Sasser and Shed set the tone. Turnover.
So you watch him, he's going to try to break it down and get into a good scoring position. And he does just that off the dribble because that gives him a little strength into his shot, a little more bounce in the elevation.
33-23, Cincinnati. Shed, attack mode.
There's that mixing it up, right? You want to make sure the guards don't settle just for jump shots, even though they're very good at shooting the ball from long range. Now all of a sudden their mentality is let's get it going towards the basket again. They got away from that for about 3 minutes.
Nolly back in for Cincinnati. Single digits now, 33-25. Adams Woods with 9 to shoot.
Nolly wants it on the left side. They isolate him there a lot.
Timer is down to 4. Entry. Okwama takes it in and could not finish it.
That one he got off in time, though.
Sasser, tight defense there from DeJulius. It's going to be an offensive foul. Sasser picks it up.
Maybe using that shoulder just a little too much.
Each team has turned it over 5 times. Yes, it's the fend off.
Yep, the extension. Good catch by the officials just then.
Walker checks back in. Davenport with Adams Woods, Locken, DeJulius, and Nolly. 5 on the floor for the Bearcats.
Well, and Nolly off that screen. Look at the release.
Nolly!
Man!
Money! Took a shot to the mouth. Another three-pointer for Landers Nolly the second. He is one of the more confident shooters you're going to see in college basketball.
He gets his feet set so well and pointed to the basket.
Good answer. Jarris Walker showing off the range. He's a 35% three-point shooter. Powerful, 6'8", 240 pounds. But as we know, guys, these days, bigs will shoot.
Absolutely they will from long range. Important stop right here for Houston to keep this momentum going.
Nolly is a perfect 4-4 from downtown. The floater is good. David DeJulius with a purpose.
One thing about DeJulius, he does make good decisions. And I love the way he pushes it down to the middle of the floor.
Spread it. Sasser on a handoff for Shed. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Sharp. Good look at a three.
Yeah, you get that diagonal skip pass that forces things from one side of the floor to the other, and Walker making a very unselfish play there. Just understands the game of basketball in terms of the fundamentals.
38-31. DeJulius, no. Rebound fought for, leaks out. DeJulius with the cleanup.
Yeah, and lock in the factor just then, too, to create that cleanup opportunity that you mentioned, Diane.
Cincinnati has been fearless in this first half.
Great combination, hitting the offensive glass and getting open shots.
Shed leaves it for Walker. Got a three.
We have a good look from behind that. Watching him shoot yesterday and watching him shoot today, he gets absolutely great rhythm and rotation on the basketball while in flight.
Packed house here at the Fertitta Center. Opened in 1969. It's a great gym. Turnover. Travel by DeJulius. The Cincinnati lead is down to 6.
Watch the footwork. Gets it facing the basket and nothing but net there. And Walker has a little bit of range for a freshman himself.
Yeah, we got Houston legends from a different sport. Case Keenum, Buffalo Bills quarterback, and there's former NFL quarterback Kevin Cobb. Pretty good seats. A reminder coming up, AT&T at the half. Other legends, studio legends, Adam, Clark, Seth. Break down our first half, catch you up on the best highlights from the day's early action. It's coming up on AT&T at the half.
And you know what stands out when you look at this first half points allowed, the most 36 points back on January 11th, is that Houston has only given up 70 points or more 3 times this year. Now, I know there's a second half to play in this, but you look at this number that they've put up 80 in the first half with a minute and change to go here. Pretty impressive scoring, you know, for Cincinnati on the road.
Jimmy, they are number 2 in the country, opponent points per game.
Right.
54.2. Cincinnati's got 40. We still have a minute 43 to go in this first half. Love it. Slow it down. On a rack attack, Jarris Walker.
Kelvin Sampson in his timeouts has clearly spoken about if they're going to come out and rush us off the three-point line, that's what Cincinnati does so well, then we're going to go attack and go by people and make something happen towards the basket.
Both teams are shooting 62%. This is a 4-point game. DeJulius, herky-jerky move. He missed it. Look out. Rebound.
Maybe Locken there with the push.
Locken was trying to get his body in there, and he made contact with Shed.
Around the tip, and then off you go. A little bit of a delay. Locken just watching that one.
Houston has made its last 6 shots to cut it to 4. Shed, defended by DeJulius.
Another one. Oh.
Volleyball tap to Arsenault. Can't hit the three.
Would have brought the house down.
Rebounded by Davenport.
How about that tip by Walker, though?
Good feel.
Couldn't really grab it, but knew exactly where the play was and where his teammates were set up on the floor. Another double team to get it away from Nolly.
Nolly needs help.
Watch out. Whoa! Oh, boy.
Adams Woods just went down hard. Foul called. Two players went airborne after Nolly got trapped.
And watch how quickly it happens, too, Ian. When you think about it, that's as good as it gets in the corner. As an offensive player, I know he's a three-point shooting guy from the corners, but you really don't want to catch it there knowing they're going to double team you. We'll see if he avoids that spot and moves before he catches it in the corner again.
Foul called on Emmanuel Sharp. 40.8 on the game clock. Nolly triggers in for DeJulius. Adams Woods gets Nolly involved. 10 to shoot, 30 seconds to go in this first half, and it's going the other way. There was a shift on the interior by Okwama trying to establish position.
I believe that's number 3.
It is. So Okwama will sit, and Kalu Azikpe will replace him. 50-year senior who transferred from Old Dominion.
That's why at that 4-minute mark, you start to think, do I want to leave a big guy on the floor with foul trouble? Generally, you don't, because they mix it up so much down low.
The shot clock and the game clock are lined up. Final seconds of this opening half.
They have a foul to give, too, if they get in trouble.
10 seconds. The jumper doesn't go for Sharp. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Adams Woods at the horn. It's good! He drills it just inside half court. That's the kind of half it was for Cincinnati.
And that's the type of play you have to understand. With about 4 seconds left, you get about 3 dribbles as a guard. And if you notice, watch his last dribble, Ian. Right here he goes, bang, I get by somebody for a clear opening. Remember, he's a left-handed player. Defender's on his right side at that point. My feel was that that was good.
Agreed.
Yep.
And it has been confirmed. A three-pointer from midcourt at the horn to end a fantastic half for Cincinnati. First time all season, Houston has trailed at the half. We'll send you to Adam Zucker in New York with AT&T at the half. Coming up after these messages, it's 43-36. Cincinnati leading Houston. This historic Houston basketball program, some legendary names through the years. Check out our Buick first half stats. Cincinnati 8 of 12 from three-point territory, 9-2 on second chance points. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco. I'm not sure you could play much better than the Bearcats in that first half of action. They get a 3 at the buzzer just to add a little insult to injury. Cincinnati, they came to play, and Nolly was the main reason early with those three-pointers.
Yeah, he was terrific, and I think Houston will have a run in them, though, in the second half. So Cincinnati knows that. And you take a look at what Nolly has done here. He had the hot hand early on. He starts on the right corner, and then he's going to come back off a screen for a set play. So as you run it here, you watch the ball's going to come to the left side. Guard's going to take it back off the high screen. Now here comes Nolly along the baseline, and you stop it there. Notice how he is positioning himself right before he catches the ball to have his shoulders squared to the basket, and his release is quick. Even takes a shot to the face with no call there. That's why he's a great shooter. He anticipates the ball, and his body is ready to shoot it facing the basket.
Cincinnati is 14-1 this season when leading at the half. So what they did from three-point territory in the first meeting, that was basically a rout when Cincinnati hosted Houston on January the 8th, 72-59 final. Walker had 21 in that game. Sasser had 16. Roberts had 14 and 11. Bearcats with the basketball to start this second half. Jumper, Davenport getting the nod to start the second half, and it's off the mark. Stop and go, Sasser. Long rebound to Julius. Get it ahead. Look inside, and Locken just got hacked.
Yeah, Davenport for Wama Ian because of the foul trouble that he has. So it's a smart move by Wes Miller to keep him off the floor. And there's that slip cut, and he's getting bounced left and right.
It's first foul on Walker. Wes Miller, he said the improvement of Victor Locken has been steep year 1 to year 2. He averaged 4 points per game, 3.5 rebounds as a freshman. He's at 12.6 and 7.5 boards, just over a block per game in his sophomore season. Last touch there by Houston, 15 to shoot. Cincinnati will operate in the half court.
And Roberts getting his hand on the ball that time. They look for as many deflections in their half court defensive sets as they can.
Cincinnati is 5-3 in the American. They're coming off a 75-68 loss to Memphis last Sunday. They shot just 40% in that game. Had won 3 in a row before it. Good look to the corner. Nolly rebounded by Mark.
Surprised he was that open again. You would think they'd come out and find him early on. Don't give him a chance to get untracked in the second half.
Shed defended by Nolly.
They had better success when they started penetrating and getting to the basket.
The drive, nicely done. Roberts with the finish.
Yeah, and how about the lefty showing us a little right action just then? A quick catch, one little bounce with strength going to the basket.
Call from the sideline, Wes Miller. They'll run this set. DeJulius tried to get it down low to Nolly. Instead, it's Adams Woods on the perimeter. DeJulius. Wow. D9 by Walker. Shed with a head of steam. Pump fake.
Nice extra pass.
Corner. Shed. Rims up. Tipping goes. Crashing the boards. Walker with the bucket. Houston has cut it to 3. The Fertitta Center is rocking in Houston. Houston closing the gap, Jimmy, second half. It's been a whole lot of Jarris Walker.
Yeah, what they focused on in practice yesterday was the offside where he was just then, being alert and ready to go at the defensive end. And obviously, they really know how to rebound offensively. So, good combination when you think of what he's done versus Cincinnati in particular. 21 points, 8 of 14, and almost matching it with the shooting. Still a long way to go in this second half.
Sister Jaden played basketball at St. Joe's. His sister Sherelle played volleyball at Maryland, Baltimore County. This is a really talented family. And Walker is a legit competitor.
Here's that high screen action we like to run. Locken goes towards the middle of the floor, well defended. Here he goes the second time they set it up.
Out of the timeout, Davenport looking for Locken.
Look at how far out, though, he's forced to catch the ball.
Off the double team, Davenport misses on a 3-ball.
It might be a
knocked
foul.
Out of bounds.
No, I thought that Nolly was swinging his arm, trying to get to that ball. Goes the other way, though.
Last touch by Nolly. Just over 2 minutes elapsed in this second half. Cincinnati is 0 of 4 since halftime. Oguama in, Davenport sits. Oguama playing with 3 fouls.
Maybe a touch for Roberts in their sets. Get him in a pick and roll type of opportunity.
Walker against Locken.
Right there by him.
Dump it inside. There's the look. Roberts missed the easy one.
Pretty good pass, though, by Walker. Tried to go by on the baseline side. Well defended. Pretty good release pass, too, when he got in traffic. Nice defensive effort in front of the middle of the floor just then by Sasser on Nolly.
Here's Adams Woods. Now DeJulius, 9 to shoot. Screen, Oguama. DeJulius, pump fake. Contested jumper, no. Roberts saves it.
One of the things Houston prides themselves on, and Kelvin Sampson focuses on that, don't go for the ball fakes. Stay on your feet. A little quicker here outside.
Walker missed it on a scoop to the hoop. Adams Woods ahead. DeJulius, pedal to the metal. Blocked. Mark got in. And a foul called underneath. So Oguama ended up on his backside.
Recognizing the transition opportunity. But as you notice here, Sasser slows him down just enough. The second guy in generally gets the block, but it's the first guy who does most of the work to slow that shot down.
The foul on Shed. 2 free throws here for Odi Oguama. Raleigh, North Carolina native. And they're sending their two teams to their respective benches. Unless the officials believe there was something more there.
Take a look to see if it's upgraded from a common foul.
There was a lot of activity around the rim on the follow as both teams were crashing the glass. They just said they're going to take a quick look to see if it was anything that would be considered upgraded.
Right, so far so good. Here's the block.
Yep, clean for
Yep,
Mark.
good effort.
And Okwama comes away with it, and Shed there hugged him as he was going down.
I think that's a guy that's off balance and actually putting his arms around a guy to help him from falling down. So I'd be shocked if they upgrade that.
We've only had 4 free throws attempt for each team. It just shows you there haven't been a whole lot of missed shots, or not a lot of rebounds, and the game's been played at a high level.
The only thing that would get you to change your opinion on this is the fact that it's not a basketball play right there. And he also falls to the floor.
So, Will Howard, Bill Jacobson, Robert Felder having an extended conversation. The foul was called on Shed, and now the question, will it be upgraded? And it has been upgraded to a flagrant 1. Unnecessary in what Shed did on the foul.
Close. I mean, it wasn't a basketball play, and probably the word unnecessary comes in right there. I thought initially, to my look, that he was going to try to keep him from falling, but then when he doesn't hold him up, they go to the next level there with the unnecessary.
Well, I think it was the second angle that we saw
yeah.
that changed the opinion. So the fans just got word that it was upgraded to a flagrant 1. Okwama by himself.
Here it comes right now. Yeah, initially, like I said, I'll just repeat myself. If he held on to him the whole time, I don't think it gets upgraded. He's shooting, though, for a 60% free throw shooter to go to the line.
And that's not easy to do.
It's not.
You're on the road. All the players have exited the lane area. It's just you and the basket.
You don't like to be alone, I take it.
I like having friends around, Jim. I like being with you.
Thank you.
45-40, Cincinnati in front. Now they maintain possession.
Yeah, big opportunity right here. Take advantage of it.
Adams Woods, toss it in for DeJulius.
Good screen out front. There's that roll they like to go to with Locken.
Locken is rocking on the inside.
Very nice. How about the reload just then, too? Not in a hurry to shoot it when he first caught it. Smart enough and patient enough to just go away from the defender just a bit.
Cincinnati certainly not afraid. They have been up to the task from the word go. Bounce it to Roberts. Pirouettes and finishes.
I like the fact that they're going to Roberts, though. Against Okwama, he has those 3 fouls. Could change the inside complexion of this game if they can get him to pick up a 4.
And Roberts has been a factor. 10 points. He's 5 of 6 from the field.
Nolly running that baseline. Pretty well defended again.
Nolly puts it on the deck.
Skip pass.
Locken rolling to the rim. And it's a foul as well. Locken with a chance for 3. Houston can't believe it.
And neither can Shed.
Shed remains on the ground in disbelief for the Cougars. Locken playing a big role here for the Bearcats. Just keeping an eye on this one. Focused, of course, on tomorrow. NFL connections all around with Case Keenum, Houston's all-time leader in completions, passing yards, passing touchdowns. Huge ovation when he came out prior to the game. Cincinnati, tremendous sports town, something that Wes Miller chatted with our group about just how the Bearcats can feel the energy of the Bengals in Cincy.
Yeah, a bunch of them are big football fans, and you buy into the sports world in Cincinnati.
Mark, rainbow three. Tremont Mark shooting it at 36% from downtown.
And a nice call after the break, too. Get something going towards the hoop, but they slow it down. Watch out. Oh, just barely missed that half-court strike.
Swing it. Nolly frees himself for a three.
And the break there.
Nolly, the second is automatic.
And how about the ball fake? One of the things Houston wants to stay on their feet. Don't go after that ball fake. Boy, they fought on that one.
Shed shifting gears on a spin to the rim. Basket won't count. Foul was called out front as Shed was looking for continuation.
So he comes out and watch him set himself up like we showed in that first half a couple of times, and then it's just way too late. That's practice for him. Love the way he shoots the basketball without having to really get off the floor that high.
Nolly experienced a 1,000-point scorer in his career. 53-45. Foul called on DeJulius. Here's Mark against Nolly. 5 to shoot. Walker has to work quickly. Turnaround. It goes! Jarris Walker, that was not an easy angle.
I thought he was going to spin to the baseline side, which he will do from time to time, but you're absolutely right. Little body up and a float away. Mark with the reach in. I was thinking he was setting himself up to go that way, Ian, and he doesn't. And now watch him just float away.
His ability to square.
Yeah, him and Nolly are very good at it. Watch how he gets at the very end, and you see that squaring of the shoulders. Kind of guarantees your shot is going to be on target. May not go in all the time.
First foul called on Mark, the 4th team foul against Houston. Just about 6 minutes gone by in the second half. Nolly showing off the handles. And the jumper doesn't go. Davenport cuts inside for the follow.
And one of the things about Nolly when he shoots the ball, generally it comes down softly. So you saw where that ball, a three-point type shot, did not kick out that far because of the rotation on the ball, and it deadens off the rim for offensive rebounding.
Sasser defended by Adams Woods, uses the screen, continues on the drive, and finishes. Good pump fake from the veteran Marcus Sasser.
Yeah, one thing to get the pump fake in your favor, but then the patience to let a defender fly by you.
55-49 Cincinnati.
Cincinnati continues to answer because Houston is just dying for a run here.
Feed it, Okwama.
Spin moves.
Left hand, missed it. Rebound, Okwama got his hand on it. Keeps it alive for Nolly. And that soft touch. Landers Nolly, the second, has been cash all day.
He's smiling as he goes down the floor there. Just getting, he worked for it, but got a good bounce.
Second chance points, 15-4. Bearcats.
And remember, Houston is a great offensive rebounding team, as is two of the better ones in this conference.
Foul called on Adams Woods as Sasser made his move. Coming up tonight, 8 Eastern, CBS Sports Network, Mountain West doubleheader. Boise State hosts Colorado State. That'll be followed by Nevada squaring off with UNLV. Check it out on CBS Sports Network.
Offensive rebounding. And these teams are 1 and 2. Houston's number 1, Cincinnati's number 2, and we're seeing some good glass work at the offensive end.
Rob Finnessy, who has been out with a foot fracture, former captain with the Indiana Hoosiers, now in for Cincinnati. Sasser missed it, rebounded by Davenport. The grad transfer from Lafayette, Indiana.
Yeah, missed the last 13 games with that injury that you touched on.
Playing alongside Adams Woods in the backcourt, giving DeJulius a breather. 10 to shoot.
Key is not to make mistakes.
Nolly held before that shot. It won't count. And Nolly just opened his mouth and said, they can't guard me. And he's right. 57-49. Cincinnati in front, second foul on Sasser, the 15th foul. Roberts sits.
And they're running plays for Nolly around curls now, too, to get him into the middle of the paint.
Locken has put up good numbers. 11 points, 4 boards, 2 blocks. Adams Woods. That was a force. And a foul the other way on Locken. Houston down by 8. We're going to hit the 12-minute mark of this second half. Kick it out. Sharp. Loses the ball.
That's a pretty good effort defensively. Wasn't it off the bounce?
It was. Davenport there as the ball just landed into his hands. Ball was tipped on the move.
Yeah, Finney defensively just then.
Previous call on this end was just out of bounds off of Lockett. No foul on Lockett.
Yeah.
The two bodies got tied up.
Yeah, I agree with that call, too, because they did, and nobody took advantage of the other.
Nolly.
Man, wow.
He is locked and loaded. Landers Nolly the second. Bullseye after bullseye. 22 for Nolly. 60-49. Shed is fouled by Adams Woods. It is Nolly all day, all night for Cincinnati. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Sonic. This is how we Sonic. Buick, the official SUV of the NCAA. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. 3 Final Fours here in the city of Houston through the years. 1971, UCLA beat Villanova. 2011, UConn took down Butler. 2016, Chris Jenkins, that long three at the buzzer to bring the national championship to Villanova. Houston will be the host city for the 2023 Final Four. Well, we've seen some standout performances. It's Nolly for Cincinnati. Walker has picked it up in the second half for Houston.
And you can only imagine with 11 minutes and change left how much impact these two will have in that last 11 minutes. But both of them to this point, just sensational efforts.
Cincinnati has shot it at 54%. They've turned it over just 7 times. Houston, 56%. 6 turnovers. We've just seen high-level execution this afternoon. If you haven't seen TV's top new series, Fire Country, tomorrow is the night to start. A special new episode after the AFC Championship. Houston is now 1 of 4 at the free throw line today.
Kelvin Sampson told us yesterday that's been a problem.
It has.
They've tried everything to get that number up in terms of different types of drills, one-on-one shooting, workouts.
Discard. Julius missed it off the rim. Arsenault back in there for Houston. Shed on a spin and the flip. Little teardrop from Jamal Shed.
And it seems like after every timeout, when Houston is not really playing their best, Kelvin Sampson encourages them to get the ball to the paint area. Let's see if that was just a one and done or they can continue to do that.
Davenport feed it to the high post. Lockett loses it out of bounds. Last touch by Houston.
Chaney a little surprised at the call, as is Kelvin.
They just showed it on the big screen here.
What do you think they think?
I'm going to go with they don't agree with the officials.
I would agree with you.
Finney remains in there.
Shooter.
Jumper. Davenport around the world and out. And a foul called on Finney.
And Locken goes to the basket with this one.
Yeah,
he
it was Locken.
He just fumbles it.
Well,
maybe a
ball
hand,
don't lie.
Well,
They didn't get any points on that possession.
On the waist, maybe, but they don't get them all. But that was the wrong call on that one.
Stop and go. Jamal Shed is starting to take over.
Backcourt will do that for Houston. They understand veteran leadership. I love the way he's taking it, not only to the basket, but also to the chest of a defender.
It's a 6-point game.
Trying to get Nolly. Shed has Nolly right now. He's running all over the block on him.
Nolly rims out. Wow. Oh, that nearly went down for Davenport, but it's cleared by Cheney. Sharp gets a touch. Back for Shed.
You can't do that one, Ian.
Offensive foul. Shed creating space. Basket won't count.
If we can see that easily from over here, you know it's going to be called on the floor. Watch the left arm. There you go. DeJulius just a touch behind him on the hip, making up some progress. Good call from the officials.
Third personal on Shed.
Let's see if Nolly can get on track. If not, somebody's have to break somebody down. Nice.
DeJulius sets it up for the lock and flush.
And no weak side help whatsoever on that cut to the basket.
62-54 Bearcats. 9th assist for David DeJulius. Way outside, Walker.
Averages 4 a game, so his number way up.
Spin on Nolly. Walker's jumper is silky smooth.
Didn't we just see that one about 2 minutes ago? The setup, the spin. He's still shooting the ball well, and Nolly hasn't gotten a real touch in the last minute and a half or two.
18 for Walker.
Better job defending in the middle of the floor against Locken.
DeJulius back out for Nolly. Trying to hold on to it. And a tie-up possession arrow to Houston. Houston was undefeated in the conference until they got knocked off by Temple last week. Houston is 7-1. Temple is now 8-2. So if Houston wants to stay in the top spot, they need to win today against Cincinnati. First turnover of the second half for Wes Miller's squad.
You know, Cincinnati played their last game 6 days ago, too, so they've shown coming out here that they have some good legs. Question becomes playing on the road, and Houston trying to find some rhythm again at the offensive side. Sasser back on the floor, too.
Only losses this season came to Alabama and Temple. Lethal.
I might put that in the class of ridiculous in terms of shots. Boy, did he ever get some high arc on that one and falling away, no less. What a difficult shot. Made it look easy.
20 points, 9 of 12 from the field. Okwama.
Little rattled at the offensive end, Cincinnati, right now. This guy usually calms him down. Whoa, not now.
Denial on the inside. Adams Woods got gum. Arsenault. Ball is popping. Jumper. Foul called Sharp. 3-point territory. DeJulius got him. It's a 9-2 Cougars run.
Watch the rotation away from the shoot of the defender right here. And how high does he go with that one?
Good one here in Houston, the number 3 team in the country. The Cougars, they've been down most of the day. Cincinnati, 62. Houston, 58. 61% shooting now for the Cougars, and it's been Jarris Walker taking over in the second half.
Really started with him in the activity at the defensive end and following up shots in the middle of the floor, and then he'd start to isolate him a little bit. Here's that fall-away jumper. Cincinnati was on the roll, but obviously it's Houston on the road.
Cincinnati has not beaten a top 5 team since 2012 when they knocked off number 2 Syracuse. Cincinnati's looking for that signature win for Wes Miller this season. 14-7 overall, 5-3 in the conference. 3 free throws for the freshman from Tampa, Florida, Emmanuel Sharp. His father, Derek, was a standout at South Florida, then played 18 years in Israel. Coached Emmanuel in high school.
Well, it's interesting. 18 was a magic number for him. He was 18 for 18 from the free throw line before that miss.
Now 18 of 19. Houston is 1 of 5 at the line. From the executive producer of Teen Wolf, Sarah Michelle Gellar stars in the all-new series Wolfpack, now streaming exclusively on Paramount+. 2 out of 3 for Sharp. Got a 2-point game.
They have an opportunity right now for Cincinnati to run one of their better sets to make sure they get a look against the crowd.
DeJulius defended by the very long Arsenault. High screen, Okwama.
Maybe a post-up finale against Sasser.
Davenport in and out. Rebounded by Sharp. Houston with a chance to tie or take the lead depending on shot selection.
Young squad on the floor for
Three
Houston.
freshmen on the floor for Houston. One of those is Walker, and he just got fouled.
Foul number 6 on Cincinnati.
Nolly is looking for an explanation. That is his first. And now Shed will check back in, replacing Arsenault. So one of those 3 freshmen to the bench. 7:02 to play. Second half.
Remember, Sharp's a 43% shooter from 3.
Sharp.
There you go.
Off the rim. Locken got in there, and it's going to go the other way. Unless it was a fend-off to knock down, and it was. Cincinnati will have the basketball, and they're heading to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think Lockett has almost the possession secured when he gets bounced by 2 guys actually around him. Only a 52% free throw shooter too.
Victor Locken. They're just trying to confirm who the foul was on, and it's Shed. And that's number 4 on Jamal Shed.
It's huge. With 2 guys around him, they give it to Shed. Just bounced up off the bench, too.
The sophomore from Russia, Victor Locken. Rims out.
Oh, look at that.
It nearly went down for Davenport. It's controlled by the Cougars.
Second time he's done that this afternoon, but almost went in on tips. Watch
Roberts.
Yep, lefty move.
Ball fake. Locken with a block. Number 3 for Locken, and it's out of bounds.
Well, knowing your scouting report is so important when you think about it, and he goes to his left, his strong hand. Locken goes straight up. Could have been a little veer off there with the right hand by Roberts, too.
Sasser, toss it in for Walker. Houston down by 2.
Oh,
and a trip by Nolly. And that's 17 fouls against Cincinnati, so 1-1 here for Jarris Walker, the freshman.
Yeah, a little isolation. He tries to get that right hip by the defender, and Nolly just leans in and takes him down. Seems to be struggling a touch, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was
maybe
lumbering just a bit.
Slammed the right knee down as he went down to the floor.
Missed it. Free throw shooting an issue. This season they've shot 53.5% in their 2 losses, 72.5% in their 19 wins.
So they're trying to curl Nolly off the low screens. Sasser's not letting him catch the ball. Then they want to clear out one of the bigs for a post-up.
We approach 6 minutes to go. Cincinnati up by 2. DeJulius to Locken. Missed it. Big time snatch there by Walker.
That was a beauty of a pass, too, by DeJulius.
Walker is not moving well. Sasser blocked by Locken. Roberts, the follow. We're tied at 62. What a battle this has been.
Yeah, miss a shot and go rebound it. That's what they do very, very well.
8-0 run. swing it. Nolly against Sasser. Face guarding him. Nolly. Got him! And a foul!
And that's what I was talking about with Nolly. If they're going to track him around the three-point line, he's got to put the ball on the floor and get to a post-up opportunity. Watch how he works his way down. He stops, goes up, and then gets hit on before he lands.
I got to tell you, Jimmy, he goes at his own speed.
Yeah, he's not in a hurry.
No.
Yeah, that's his style.
Very much under control. Nolly with a chance to tack on one more to give him 25. Foul on Roberts, his third. Nolly misses at the line. 83% shooter.
Yeah, and he's got 18 straight double-figure scoring games. So a guy who just knows how to score.
64-62 Cincinnati. Sasser on the perimeter. Mark against Davenport.
Yep, he's a lefty too.
Walker lines it up. Rebound. Roberts. Went in for the crank. And he's fouled by Locken.
An exceptional pass off the offensive rebound. He's watching the middle of the floor as this ball kicks out. There's Roberts. He sets him up. And I like the foul just then. Aggressive offensive drive. Defensively, an aggressive attempt. And you put a guy on the free throw line who's struggled a little bit this year, but don't give up the dunk.
Houston is now 4 of 9 from the stripe. Second one here for Jarris Walker. Makes them both.
Yep. Freshman concentration on those two.
We are knotted up at 64 apiece and even 5 minutes to go here in Houston. 46th all-time meeting between these two programs. The Bearcats 33-12 against the Cougars. DeJulius hit the cutter. Locken trying to create space. Locken puts it down low. It's blocked by Roberts.
Could never get his legs underneath him. Well defended and well double team on that trip.
Houston looking for the lead. Sasser step back. Doesn't go. And it's rebounded by Davenport.
Now he's holding that left knee over there.
Oh boy. Landers Nolly is down.
Immediately went to grab that left knee.
Wes Miller, the athletic training staff, came out right away. Nolly has had a brilliant game. It was Nolly trying to establish position, and Emmanuel Sharp came by, and there was some contact there. As they work on Nolly, we'll step aside and come right back to Houston. Back live here in Houston. Landers Nolly has been helped to his feet, not putting a lot of pressure on that left leg. They have gotten him to the end of the bench. We mentioned that he was a question mark today because of a right knee issue. There was some contact there as Davenport went by him.
His knee on knee, or I want to mention one quick thing though. The fans here in this building all stood up and gave him a nice round of applause for his, classy act here.
24 points on 9 of 13 from the field, 6 of 9 from three-point territory for Nolly.
Who's the answer now? They go big, nice skip pass. Davenport's a shooter, and so is this guy.
DeJulius missed it. Rebound secured by Walker. We have 4 minutes to go. The last time Houston led, it was 6-3. And right now Cincinnati is doing it without Nolly.
And isolating Walker again.
Walker, the push shot is good.
He's taken over this game. Kelvin Sampson told us this team will go as far as these freshmen step up and help them. And we're seeing one this afternoon stepping up and helping them. Ball may hit the sideline. It's out of bounds.
Houston up by 2. Crowd is into it. And Jarris Walker has not looked like a freshman at all. Time to check out the fast analysis presented by AT&T 5G.
Let's look at Walker going to the paint. Actually not his smoothest shot, Ian. If you notice, Davenport played him fairly well defensively, and he kind of hitches that shot, but he gets it to go. He's really been playing well this afternoon. On over the last 5 games, he's averaging 15 points, so his numbers are starting to go up.
We go from Walker to Landers Nolley, who is back in the game for Cincinnati.
And not to speculate, but maybe a knee-on-knee that brought him down, which is good, because I don't think other than that they wouldn't put him back in. So we'll see what kind of mobility he has.
Cincinnati led by as many as 13. They were up by as many as 11 in the second half. Since that point, Houston has gone on a 17-4 run.
And Walker go by.
Walker, push shot, doesn't go, but a foul on Lockett.
Lockett's a good defensive player, but when he's out on the floor, the height becomes neutralized a little bit, and Walker's been able to take advantage of it just a bit. Not much of a foul, but body on body just then.
That's number 3 on Victor Lockett. He's got 4 blocks here this afternoon. Another one coming for Jarris Walker. 3:21 on the game clock. Wes Miller believes the team is heading in the right direction, getting better every week. It's not just the results, but it's the mindset of the group that he's been very happy with.
Yeah, up until that loss that you mentioned before, but to Memphis, he thought they were playing very good basketball. And the standings indicate it when we looked at those today.
This equals Houston's largest lead, 3. Nolley, step back, off the rim.
That's an indicator of how he feels. I'm not so sure about that shot just then. First trip down.
Houston 67, Cincinnati 64. We are under 3 minutes to play.
This is where the guards take over for Houston.
Shed the drive and rocks the rim. Yes. Sam Ryder, 3-shot lead. We'll have all the action for you coming up here on CBS. Well, Houston took a big punch from Cincinnati. Second half, you just feel like their defense has been at another level. Out of the timeout, Davenport, extra feed, Lockett throws it down. And the Bearcats have cut it to 3 with 2.5 to go.
How about Adams Woods, too, coming around the baseline with that hockey assist. That's
15 to shoot, Shed. Looking for some man movement, gets it from Roberts. They've been riding Walker, stripped of the ball by DeJulius.
nice.
The handles. Nolley.
Oh, he had a layup. He turns it down.
The jumper is off. Adams Woods had a clean look.
And I thought Nolley had a chance to get that ball right to the tin.
Houston has not shot it well from long range, just 29%, but 71% on 2-point tries. They've got a 3-point lead, 1:40 to go.
I like the high screen. Here it comes with Roberts.
Shed uses it, tosses it up, rims out. Door is open for DeJulius and Cincinnati, 1:27 to go. Switch. He's got the big Roberts. DeJulius, yes sir! A 3 to tie it.
And a beautiful call just then by DeJulius, recognizing the big who stayed away, worried about driving to the basket, forgetting that he's a 39% three-point shooter.
69 apiece, just over a minute to play here in Houston.
great answer by Cincinnati, wasn't it?
Here's Sasser. 10 to shoot. Swing it for Shed. Under a minute to go. They spread it. Shot clock down to 5. Shed. Step back. Oh, yeah!
Boy, not only a step back, but how much space did he get when he took that big step? It was about 3 or 4 feet away.
40 seconds to go. Houston leads by 2. Nolly. Back out, Adams Woods. 15 to shoot.
Switch out on Nolly.
Shot clock is winding down. Cincinnati down by 2. DeJulius, a lot of dribbling. Locken peeks at the clock, loses the ball. Locken tosses it up. Shot clock violation. Air ball. He got stonewalled with 16.4 to play. Houston holding on to a 2-point edge.
Yeah, what an effort defensively. Not by one guy, but by 5 guys. Locken gets it back and somehow even gets a shot off that goes wide right.
We got a timeout. 17.8 on the clock. Houston up by 2 on Cincinnati. It's games like these that remind you of what's to come in the month of March, because this has been fantastic.
It sure has been. We're a little early for March, but you're right. It does feel like, watch this big separation. It's about 3 or 4 feet. Doesn't allow you to get close enough to get a hand on the strip going up, nor does it allow you to get a block shot. Terrific execution by the guard.
Houston 71, Cincinnati 69.
So it's a fouling situation right now for Cincinnati.
The Cougars are just 6 of 12 at the free throw line, so there will be pressure.
And he's got to stay still here, Ian, but keep in mind, he has the ability to move 1 foot to his right and 1 foot to his left if he needs an angle.
Shed bounces in for Sasser. Back out for Shed. And the 2 leaders handling the responsibility right now with 14.9 on the clock.
That's a pretty good substitution of who you fouled just then, though, because Sasser had it for a second. He's at 81%. Shed's at 66%. If you're playing the probabilities here, you'll take that.
It is Jamal Shed at the free throw line. 11 points, 1 of 2 at the stripe today. Three-point game. .9 on the clock.
Cincinnati has to be ready to block out right here, get it and go. And they probably have enough time to go to the basket quickly if they want to, unless it's a drive and kick.
Hits them both. 2-possession game. 14.9 to play. DeJulius scoops it up. We're down to 12 seconds. DeJulius. Shed cuts him off. Inside the layup. Tipped home by Locken.
No, they're not going to count that, I don't think. I think that's going to be sitting on the rim. Interference.
Locken missed it in what looked like an easy layup and then jumped to tip it home.
This will be a great shot looking down on it. Is it still on the rim? I believe it is.
So they are reviewing it to see if this was legal or illegal. 5.3 on the clock. A made basket would cut it to 2.
Yeah, they can review that under 2 minutes.
If it doesn't count, then Cincinnati will not have much of a chance to win this.
That's one of these calls that the ball looked like it was coming out. So if he could have waited a fraction, just a fraction longer, so it clears the rim.
He's so big, he's right there.
Yeah. And, you know, the anxiety of this game, the closeness of it, everything works into that whole play to just finish it off.
And I'm sure his instinct is, I'm going to make the first one. When he missed it, you just want to do the right thing.
Exactly. Right on point.
And this is a huge decision. Changes the whole complexion of the final seconds. If they count it, it's a 2-point game, and now you get into fouling situation. If they don't count it, it's 5 seconds and a 4-point game. Is that enough?
Well, you know what? That angle right there may have been. What I always look for is there space between the rim and the ball so you can see the color of the floor. On that one, you could see the color of the floor.
Could Gene Steratore put an index card in between it? So they're shuttling back and forth themselves, trying to go frame by frame. It's definitely coming off. It was not going to roll in.
It wasn't going to go in. No.
The question was whether or not it was still sitting on top.
Whether it cleared or not. I'm not so sure they're getting the looks they want over there.
If the basket counts, it's 73-71. Houston basketball with 5.3. Will Howard, Bill Jacobson, Robert Felder, our officiating crew. That last angle we saw might have been enough to count it. And now the fans are getting antsy.
Yeah, I believe this is one you want to get right.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you want to get all of them right. But
yeah, exactly.
This is going to set the game into one course or the other.
That one look we had just then is making them stand there and discuss this further than what they were going to initially.
Agreed. And it appears they're in agreement. They're not going to count it. So now you're looking at a 4-point game. Houston with possession. 5.3 on the clock. You're going to tack on half a second, make it 5.8.
So you're still in the fouling mode. You want to try for the quickest deflection, steal, whatever you can come up with, but don't take more than half a second to a second off the clock.
Chet, wow, take a timeout. Didn't like what he saw.
Great effort defensively.
So we'll keep it right here as Kelvin Sampson will huddle up with his team. He's lost his tie. That's out. Wes Miller will do the same with his group. Don't forget, Cincinnati enters action at 14-7, 5-3 in the American. Houston trying to maintain first place in the American. Hey, if you want to check out the Farmers Insurance Open right now, go to PGAtour.com, CBSSports.com, or the CBS Sports app. We have got you covered.
In plays like this, obviously, you don't have time to make a decision on who you want to foul. Houston would love to see Sharp get involved catching the ball with his free throw ability. Oh,
slip there for...
That's going to slow it down.
Mark, and another timeout taken because Shed was clearly looking to inbound it to Mark, who lost his footing. So none of this has gone according to plan for Houston. You get the ball in cleanly, you force a foul on Cincinnati, a little bit of time off the clock, you make one free throw, you're looking at a 5-point lead, you make two, right. You got a 6-point lead with about 5 and change on the clock.
And the difference, you know, with Locken missing that shot, obviously, ball didn't go through the basket. If it did, you could run the baseline to get it in a whole lot easier. But now you're stationary, even though you have that ability to take a step, 1 foot right, 1 foot left. I say that again just because it opens up an angle for the delivery sometimes. You do not have to stay totally stationary if you're the guy inbounding the basketball.
How good has Houston been at home? 52-3 in their last 55 home games. All right, we'll see if the third time is the charm here for Houston. Jamal Shed. Bounce it to Sasser, and a foul given by Adams-Woods. 9/10 of a second coming off the clock.
Well executed that time by Houston with an 81% free throw shooter going to the line, just to give him a little more space on the scoreboard.
So it's the senior Marcus Sasser trying to give Houston a little more breathing room. 4.6 to play.
Pretty good afternoon of basketball with this one, though, wasn't it?
A lot of fun.
Yeah, it really was.
Highly competitive, well played.
I think that's a great word to describe Houston. They are competitive.
They are. They're going to make you feel them defensively.
And make you beat them.
Cincinnati shot 61% in the first half. They were limited to 32% shooting in the second half. Very strong performance by the Bearcats. But it's not going to be enough. Nolly calls the timeout. Wes Miller will set up a play with 3 seconds left.
That's not going to be popular in here.
No. The fans just let Wes Miller know what they thought of that decision. But you got to run through things and go through game situations.
There's a reason for everything these coaches do. Might not be this afternoon, but it might be the next game they're playing.
Well, the next game for Cincinnati will be a home game against Tulsa Wednesday night. Meanwhile, Houston will be at Wichita State on Thursday night. These two teams are moving to the Big 12, so the rivalry will continue. 2 major additions for that conference. And the American will be doing some shuffling as well, welcoming in new schools and setting off a new chapter in the conference history. Houston had won 9 in a row before that 1-point loss to Temple. Got the win over Central Florida on Wednesday night, 82-71. A win here tonight would put them at 8-1 in the conference. 20-2 overall.
With a healthy Nolly in the last 4 minutes, questionable whether he was totally, not to make any excuses. Cincinnati's a pretty tough team in terms of play. They don't quit. They're competitive. They showed a lot of grit here in Houston this afternoon.
3.7 on the clock. Adams-Woods will toss it in. Lockett will fire it. And it's out of bounds with .6. Air ball. The Cougars end on a 26-9 run. They get it done at home. Fantastic ball game between Houston and Cincinnati. The Cougars 20-2 on the season, 8-1 in conference play. Final round coverage of the Farmers Insurance Open is coming up. For Jim Spinarco, I am Eagle saying so long. We'll take you to Torrey Pines after these messages.